In this video, I'll show you the differences you can make in iMovie with your shaky footage by adjusting the stabilization settings. I'll show you footage that will benefit from this, and I'll show you footage that won't benefit from it. In fact, you will find that some clips won't benefit from any stabilization at all. At the end of the video, we'll review the lessons that we've learned in the process. I'm Bruce Macbryde, and my goal is to improve your knowledge and to speed up your workflow in iMovie. In the description below, you will find timestamps, and these will allow you to jump to different parts of the video. If you haven't already, please like, subscribe, and press the bell. From the outset, it has to be said that the less shake in the camera, the better the result will be in iMovie. But after all, we are here to try and correct footage that has already been shot. There are occasions where some shaky footage can just not be fixed, but in most cases you will get some benefit by using stabilization. And in some very rare cases, it will just fix it and you won't believe the result. So first of all, let's have a look at the benefits of stabilization. We've got two clips in the timeline here. If you look at the first one and look at the hills and the horizon in the background, it's shaking quite considerably. That clip doesn't have any stabilization. The second clip has the stabilization on it. This is the default stabilization. And if you look at the hills again, you will see that they are not shaking as much. So this is the stabilized version, and this is the non-stabilized version. So let's just have a quick look at how we would stabilize some footage. So what we'll do with this clip is we'll right click on it and we'll reveal the project media. And that will show us the media here up in the browser. And these are in fact the in and the out points. So if we just select between these clips now and press the W key, then that clip comes in. I'll just take the audio off for the moment. If we come up now to Stabilize here and select Stabilize Shaky Video, that's the standard 33%. It can be adjusted, and I'll show you how we will do that in a minute. And we don't want to make willy-nilly stabilization adjustments to the clip. In fact, the more you stabilize the clip, or the more you adjust the stabilization, the more the clip will zoom in. And if you're working with SD or HD footage, then you're going to pixelate that footage and it's going to look fuzzy. And I'll just show you an example here. Let's just select this clip now, and I'll come up to cropping here, and we'll call this crop to fill. Now, and looking at this clip in the timeline now, let's look at it. It's HD footage, and so it's reasonably sharp. But if we are going to crop that now, and let's just crop into one of these boats here, and now play it, you can see the footage is starting to pixelate. In fact, if I crop it even further, you'll get the effect even more. So let's now just play it, and you can see that that's considerably fuzzy. Now the next clip here is 4K. This is around 3,800 pixels by 2,100 pixels. The previous clip of the harbour here is 1,920 pixels by 1,080. So you can see there's quite a big difference there. If we click on this clip now and look at it, it looks completely fine. And if we zoom into this now, let's just zoom in, and we'll really zoom in to the shirt here, and there's quite a pattern on the shirt. Now let's play that now, and you can see that that's still quite sharp, even though you've zoomed in so much. And this is the advantage of shooting with 4K. It means that you can zoom in even though you're only going to export the clip as high definition. There are three versions of the next clip that we're going to look at. One has no stabilization, one has 33%, the default, and the other has 100%. And let's just play these now so you can see that there's quite a lot of movement in the foreground there. Here's the second clip. It's a little less movement. And there's a third clip that's a little less movement again. But let's now play them again and look carefully at the chairs in the background. This is the first clip, no stabilization, and the chairs didn't move. And then let's have a look at this clip, which has got the chairs are moving a little bit. And then finally in the third clip, which is 100%, look how much the chairs are wobbling in the background. The second lesson that we've learned is that not all footage is suitable to be stabilized. The next two clips, first of all, no stabilization. You see it tends to wander a little bit. Now this footage has been taken with a gimbal, so the camera was on a gimbal, and this here has some stabilization on it, and you can see it really hasn't made a lot of difference. And the lesson we're going to learn here is that if the camera's been heavily stabilized, then probably you're not going to improve much in the post-production or in iMovie, because what the camera stabilization does is it just makes the movement much smoother. And what iMovie's finding is that it looks at that movement and thinks that it's correct, and so doesn't adjust it. If the camera has been stabilized mechanically, then you're not going to get much of a result by stabilizing an iMovie. Next set we have Kookaburra on a railing. The reason for this one is if you've got straight lines or straight edges, then these edges are always going to wander a little bit. And this is first of all the non-stabilized. You can see it's wandering. And then when we stabilize it, even though it's stabilized, it still wanders a little bit. So what we've found is that you need to watch what you're trying to stabilize. So try and avoid these hard edges, because they will always show some sort of movement even though you're stabilizing. And next we're going to look at these kangaroos. Now this one's a real wow. Let's have a look at this first clip. This one has not been stabilized, and you'll see that the window frame shows right into view. There's the window frame there. Let's now have a look at the default stabilization, and the window frame has completely disappeared. Now all I've done with this is stabilize it at 33%. Now let's go to the third one, and this is stabilized at 100%. So now let's have a look at this one, and that's rock steady. So there's the default stabilization, wandering, and here is the 100%. So in this case, that 100% stabilization has made a significant difference to the steadiness of that clip. And finally, we're going to have a look at why you wouldn't want to stabilize too much. The first clip here is stabilized at the default, and you can see there's a bit of wander, but the background stays fairly steady and it's an acceptable clip. In the next one, it wanders a lot more, but the real lesson to learn here is that where these blue markers are exactly the same point in both versions of the clip. So in this one here, it's this size. Look how much bigger the candle is here and how much more zoomed in it is, and hence it's going to be more fuzzy or more pixelated than in this one here. The actual stabilization effect in both of these is much the same, yet you're getting a much clearer picture here. And the reason why this clip is zoomed in so much is that if we look at the end of this clip, then you'll find there's a dramatic movement as the camera finishes filming. What happens in iMovie is that it only creates its stabilization effect on the visible amount of the clip that's in the timeline, and not the whole clip as it was imported. And we can prove that. If I change the length of this clip now, you can see that it's analyzing for the dominant motion. In other words, it's reanalyzing that clip again. So there's some real lessons that we've learned here. So number one, default stabilization can be quite good. The second lesson that we've learned is that not all footage is suitable to be stabilized. And lesson number three is that some footage can be significantly improved by the default stabilization, or even increasing that stabilization a little bit. And the fourth lesson is not to include any dramatic movement. So try and cut that out and just have the least movement in the clip that you use. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial. If you haven't already, please subscribe and press the bell, and you'll get more videos like this one on tips in iMovie. Thank you for support. Thank you for watching.